Welcome to the Living in Utah channel, live question and answer session here Thursday evening. I call it Throw It Out There Thursday. You're welcome to throw any kind of questions you want out there. If you want to talk about the state of Utah, you want to talk about the United States, if you're joining us maybe from another country, whatever the topic might be, glad to try to help in any way that I can. So topic for tonight will be, is Utah's median age increasing? Yes, it is. So here in Utah, I think we are experiencing some fantastic weather. It was about 85 to 88 degrees today. Somewhere around there is what it's projected to be. It's about what it felt like. It's beautiful out. It's great to be outside. State of Utah is doing very well. We still have low unemployment. Everything is looking good in the state. So we have plenty of water this year. So everything is looking positive. But the age of people in the United States and in Utah, with the census that was conducted from 2010 to 2020, there was a few things that popped out. Utah typically is known as one of the youngest states in the country, and we still retain that title with the census. However, they are noticing some increases in people who are aged 65 and older in the state of Utah. That number is increasing. So Utah saw a significant increase. They actually saw 53% over the decade increase in people over the age of 65. Now, that's not all people moving here, et cetera, et cetera. Some of that is to do with the fact that in general in America, Americans are living longer. So some of that increase is due to the fact that Americans are just living longer. But part of it is that some people are considering Utah as a retirement destination. And I've mentioned on many of my videos that I've noticed that myself. I see more and more people entering retirement years, or maybe are currently in retirement years, that want to move to the state of Utah. And I think, or from my little survey of talking to people, it's not official by any means, but most of the people that I interact with that are moving here over the age of 65, they want an active lifestyle. They want the golfing, the fishing, the hunting, the parks, the hiking trails. They want all those things to live as healthy of a lifestyle, that they can. And that's the feedback that I receive, and I can understand that. I would put myself in that same category someday too. One of the reasons I like to stay in Utah, it gives me opportunities to try to stay a little bit healthier. I think I've stayed very healthy for my age. I just went to a class reunion here this weekend. Actually, after I did the video last Thursday, I took a flight on Friday over to Denver because I went to a school overseas on a military base. So had a graduating class of 50. So we get together. It's an all years reunion is what they put together about every 2 to 3 years. So any year that graduated is welcome to go to the event. But and that was one of the comments that I received, is people, that I went to school with and stuff. That was one of the questions, it looks like you've stayed fairly healthy throughout your lifetime there. And I told them, well, I think part of it's to do with the fact that I live in Utah. There's a lot to do outside, and I engage in a lot of that. I ski, I snowmobile, UTV ride, hiking trails, fishing, golfing. There's a lot of outdoor activities that I do nearly every day. I walk the dog somewhere. We always go to a different place just about every day. We repeat the same places in a sense, but we enjoy our time together, and it gets me out the door. And even during the winter months, I still will do that, and gets me out the door. And I think get a few more steps in, and I think it does good. So, state of Utah, the median age is increasing. I think that'll increase. I think more people will choose Utah as a retirement destination as time goes by. I'm sure it's the more mature people moving in with the wisdom to know a good thing when they see it that's making the difference. Yes, true. Very true. Hello there. Hello, Mr. Mondo 369. How are you doing this evening? Are you joining us from the state of Utah, or are you joining us from another state or maybe another country? So I noticed on last week's or the week before, on one of the comments after I had ended, one of the comments that was left were wherever they were joining us from. It was 3 a.m. So I'm assuming it must be somewhere in Europe, possibly. Europe is about 7 hours ahead of us. So that's very early, 3 a.m. Any questions this evening that I can answer? Glad to help you any way that I can. Anybody planning on making a move to Utah or currently in the state of Utah? We are still experiencing growth. People are still moving here. We still have job growth. We do, there has been some slowdowns in some industries, but for the most part, the employment outlook is looking very good for Utah. But the state is still doing very well, and hopefully will continue. Any questions this evening before I call it an evening? Hope everybody has a great weekend. Anything planned for July 4th? It's kind of a weird day to fall on the Tuesday. It's definitely, you have the Monday. Some businesses are closed. Some people have to go and work, et cetera, et cetera. It's a little... When are property tax bills sent out? Good question. I don't know the exact date. Every county is different, by the way, because every county manages their own program. The programs are basically the same. I believe the due dates for every county is about the same. But I would expect notices. I don't remember the exact dates, because I think that if you are appealing your property taxes, there is a deadline of when that has to be submitted. And for some reason, I want to say it's like October 15th. I'd have to look that up. But so I would imagine notices probably come out around August, September time is when they roll out. And I'm not too sure if the individual counties, if they list it on their website of when they send notices out. You could always drop them an email. I'm sure they have on there when the taxes are due and when the appeal deadline is. I should probably grab some of my older information and I could go over that maybe next week. I'll dig up some of my older information but they will come in the mail. So how's real estate in Logan? I will love to move over there. Logan is booming. I was just up in Logan a couple weeks ago. Logan is, they are seeing a lot of growth in Logan. I see construction everywhere. And now this is my determination of how a city grows, or what it means, I should say. I mean, we've seen increased traffic on Main Street in Logan. I mean, it's busy. But the big companies, are moving into Logan. So they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in research on growth, customer base, et cetera, et cetera. So we've got moving in just recently. Okay. Costco just opened up, In-N-Out Burger, Dutch Brothers Coffee, Jack in the Box. Not too sure if the Jack in the Box is open yet. I heard they were going to Logan. Not too sure if that's open. The other businesses are open. That's just some of the ones that I notice. So some of the larger companies in the United States are spending the money to go into Logan. So I think the growth will continue based just off the fact that it's drawn the attention of large companies like Costco. Costco's very big. Costco probably does enormous amounts of research before they move into an area. They don't. I don't think they just say, "We're going to put a store there." So the growth in Logan but Logan has the room. There is plenty of room to grow north to the border. There's plenty of room to grow to the west, to the east. You know, you're going up the mountainside, so you're limited on the east. The west is predominantly industrial area. That's where they built the Costco. But further west, going towards Tremont, you know, there's some room out there. It's kind of swampy out there, so I'm not too sure on some of that land how far you can build exactly, but plenty of room to the north and to the south. I mean, you've got Hiram to the south. There's plenty of land in Hiram. You've got Paradise even further south. Mostly a farming community is my interpretation of it. Hiram, very similar. There's a few stores in Hiram. I think like a McDonald's, but you're only, 5 miles outside of Logan. But there's still quite a bit of farmland and stuff. And there's new construction actually going in Hiram. I was just out that way, and there's actually a development or proposed development that's up for sale that I stopped and looked at. It's already been approved for like 400 homes, I believe, something like that, and it's up for sale on LoopNet actually. And that right now is a farmer's field, is farmland right now. But so the growth is boom, 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 boom. So yeah, it's an area that's receiving a lot of attention at the moment. Now, I don't want to compare it to when I say something like that, it's not getting the growth that the Wasatch Front between Ogden and Provo is receiving. It's hard to topple that growth, but for the size of town of Logan, to me, it's considerable growth. So, especially when you're seeing the big stores moving, the big stores moving. So it's always been known to me. It's always gave me the mom and pop type feeling. A lot of mom and pop stores, a lot of mom and pop diners, gas stations, sub shops, Indian restaurants. That has always flourished in Logan. And that's what it predominantly was. And now there's, companies like In-N-Out Burger, Jack in the Box, Buffalo Wild Wings. A lot of companies have moved into the valley there. So there's still some great family-owned restaurants. There's one that I've now been to. If you're in the Logan area, try Ruby's. It's up by the university on 1400 North. It used to be called Old Chicago Pizza House, I believe. I never ate there when it was called Old Chicago Pizza House. I'm assuming it's the same owners. The building still looks the same, but it's called Ruby's. And I really enjoyed it. We've been there maybe 2 or 3 times and enjoyed it every single time. Quite the variety of food. So if you're looking for a place to eat up there, and there is also, if you're looking for a place these things keep popping in my mind, but right next to the university, I think it's 1,000 North, right up by the university, there's a gas station. They have a little Indian restaurant. I mean, it's part of the gas station. It's really narrow. There's probably 4 or 5 tables in there. Somebody recommended it to me and said, hey, that's the best Indian food that you'll find. And so after a Utah State game one time. I had my nephew with me. We stopped in there and got Indian food to go take it home, and it was great. It definitely, it was great food. So it's just a small business, great food. So if you're in the Logan area, or if you enjoy Indian food in general, then give it a shot. Any more questions this evening as we get off? I could talk about Logan all the time. I love Cache Valley. So I think it's a little hidden gem in Logan, in Utah. It's it's a nice area. It really is a nice area. So, and you have all kinds of recreation right around that area. Good evening to you also, Nathan. How are you doing this evening? But yeah, a lot of advantages up there. Crime rates in Logan, very low, very low. It always, whenever you pull the reports, yeah, it's very low. You just get the feeling when I'm in Logan, you get the feeling I don't lock my car. When I'm in an area like Logan, I never lock my car. I just leave the car, and I've always walked back to it, and my stuff has always been in my car, and et cetera, et cetera. That's the feeling that I've always felt. And it's definitely a community of like locals. People will talk to me in Logan, and I guess they assume that I live in Logan, and they're really friendly to me and everything. And I don't live in the area. So I've always felt welcome. I enjoy Utah State athletics. And I probably mentioned a couple times before on here, but I'm a big college football. I do enjoy my college football, and a big supporter of the University of Utah, and was a season ticket holder there. But now I enjoy the Utah State games. I just felt that the University of Utah, I enjoy the program. I just don't enjoy the events. When they went to the Pac-12, there was a lot of games after 8 p.m. It's chilly after 8 p.m., especially when it gets close to midnight. It's cold going to those games. It's terrible trying to park anywhere in the area. And even if you park downtown, you take mass transit up, the trains are full, standing room only. And literally they're closing the door, and you are squeezed up against everybody. That's coming and going from a game. And after a while, to me, it was like an all-day event. You had to get there early. You definitely had to get there early if you planned on eating dinner. So we used to eat dinner downtown. I still go to one or two games. I got some friends that still go, so we'll buy one or two tickets. So it's not that I don't go to games down there anymore. But the restaurants downtown are packed solid. It's hard to get into. And when I go to the Utah State game, I drive up. I know I'm pretty much guaranteed no traffic all the way up to Logan, park in the parking lot, walk in, watch the game. After the game, get in my car, drive right home. To me, it is stress-free. So, anyways, I enjoy Utah State athletics, and I've purchased season tickets probably about 5, 6, maybe 7 years up there. So, and I slowly phased out my Utah. I used to sell some of the Ute tickets and then keep some for my friends. And then I finally just figured I'll just buy one or two games that some of my friends go to, and we'll all go together. But I love Logan. It's a great area. And if you enjoy college sports, both the football and the basketball gets a really good turnout. Crowds are always into the games, especially in the Spectrum for the basketball. Opposing teams that come to the Spectrum, they know they're coming to a place that's going to be loud and, pretty much against them. Matter of fact, Utah State just got a new coach. He came from Montana State or Montana, one of the Big Sky schools. And in one of the interviews he gave, he remembers Logan because Montana, the school he was at, came to play Utah State, and he knew what the crowds were like. So it really intrigued him to be a coach here. So he, accepted the position. So Logan's a great community. Don't know the exact crime rate numbers, but I've done a couple videos on crime rates, and Logan always pops up with very good statistics. So, yep. Any more questions this evening? Any more areas? I think the people of Logan would, there are probably some people in Logan that would hope that I would say bad things about Logan so that people don't move into the town. But it's a great area. So the only downside of people are looking for Logan is if you have to take, well, if you work in Salt Lake City, that commute is brutal. I mean, in the winter months, you've got to deal with the canyon and then the traffic going through Weber County and Davis County. No thanks. That's, you have to have a lot of patience to make that commute. The other thing would be to catch a flight out of the Salt Lake airport. You are about 2 hours from Logan to the airport. So if your work requires you to fly every week or something like that, you'll have to consider the 2 hours to get to the airport, 2 hours to get back home. I would plan on. So that can be a little bit of a negative for some people. Now, people like me that only fly a couple times a year, it would not be a real big deal. But if you're having to do that on a regular basis, it might be a little bit, might get old after a while for some people. Any more questions this evening before I call it an evening? I appreciate everything. It's been a great evening. Hope everybody has a great 4th of July and stay safe out there and take care.